how to lower patient dose in radiography. My name's Alan, and this is my big brother Henry. Henry's been kind enough to let me share a little of his information. Henry is a brain cancer survivor, and part of killing the cancer involved radiation therapy. And we're very thankful for radiation therapy because it gave us a lot of years, but Henry's now suffering from radiation poisoning, and it's difficult. Now, having said that, we would like to see patient dose in radiography reduced as low as possible. And I've got an idea, and I'm hoping at some particular point I can get you to help me with an experiment. I apologize. Okay. One, in general radiography, we have what's called the anode heel effect, and basically the anode side of the X-ray beam is weaker than that of the cathode side. I Googled it today, and it's that Google says that it's between 20 to 45% weaker. So this is significant. If we were talking 2%, it would be insignificant, and there would be no need to try to remedy a 2% problem. But 20 to 45% is very significant. And if you're wondering why there's a variable 20 to 45%, it's because there are a lot of variables into why a beam is weaker than another beam. Well, some of it is mechanical. Anode discs can erode over time, and they can pit, and that can increase the weakness. The other is that every X-ray beam is an action or a reaction to an action, and as such, it's unpredictable. So sometimes, this particular beam is 20%, and this one's 45% weaker. But in any event, at the end of the day, it creates a math, okay? Because if the anode side needs to compensate for the weak side, this is what you're looking at, okay? If a desired image at 100 kVp, so we're doing a particular image, excuse me, and it requires a minimally 100 kVp. You can't set 100, okay? Because if you set 100 on as the kVp, you would have that on the strong side, but you wouldn't have it on the weak side. At 43% weaker, you're looking at 57 on the cathode side. I know what the argument is here too, and that is not the whole beam is that weak. It really doesn't matter. That doesn't hold water because you're only as strong as your weakest link, and I'm telling you that if you have an area, a small area inside this field on the cathode side or the anode side, what if that small area is over the bone or the area of interest? So you either fix the whole beam or you don't, and then you don't have an accurate picture. So if that's the case, at 43%, you'd have to actually, if you're looking at for an image that requires 100 kVp in its entirety to, have penetration to make the image, you can't set it at 100. If you set it at 150, your weak side is going to have 85.5. That's not 100. So you're now up to 180 before you break that 100 kVp or that 100 threshold. That's darn near double. Okay, so this is a significant issue to talk about. Now, how do we fix this? I have I've got other videos coming out that could address this, but the most simplest way to fix it is it can't be fixed for everything, but we could do what's called cathode side only imaging. There's lots of body parts that are small, like hands and feet and things of that nature. Arms, wrist, elbow. There's lots of parts that could possibly find itself in the or in the cathode side alone. Now, if all you had to do was adjust for the cathode and you weren't worried about the anode information, well, you could set it at 100. Then you'd only be at the kVp minimum, not a double, which is compensating for an anode. How would normal machinery react to this? I don't know. Because we have like flat fielding and pre-processing that is expecting pitchers to be degraded by this anode weakness. So I don't. That's an issue for a later date. For right now, I was wanting to create an experiment to demonstrate that we could do good images on the cathode only side with very low kVp or very low patient dose. So let me kind of describe what I'm looking for. And I've got a model or yeah, I have a little model. So bear with me while I get this set up. And I apologize. Okay. Now imagine, if you would, I've made a flashlight with a red and blue cap, and that will, so imagine this is the X-ray table, and there's your X-ray beam, and it shows the cathode and the anode side. Okay, and let me turn this a little bit. Okay, that's about the best I'm going to get. And let me get a body part. Okay, now what I would like on the experiment is to take a normal, like a phantom, and take a normal X-ray. Okay, so, and then that would set the kVp in mass. Then what I'd like to do is move, for experiment 2, move the body part, or the phantom, into the cathode or the anode side first. And I don't expect that there would be much difference, because see, this is the side we're compensating for. So I don't expect that you'd be able to lower kVp or mass. I'm expecting that on the anode side you're stuck with those numbers. And then move it to the cathode side. Now what I'd like to see is on the phantom, I would like to see us lower and keep lowering the patient dose, which is kVp and mass, and try to get it to its lowest to see just how low you can go. If I'm correct, that's where the magic's going to happen. I think as long as we're here, we're stuck at 180, and I'm hoping that when we're here, we find that we can drop the kVp down to 105. And when we're in the anode side of the beam, we would be at 180. I think that that would be pretty nifty. And I think for all intents and purposes, something that would be practical would be just to, at a later date, if we can prove that this is effective, then we could write a new positioning book that would be reflective of cathode side only positions for certain body parts. So here is I'm hoping to get data collection, and in this data collection, no human or animal testing. It would all be tabletop, because obviously we don't want any AEC or presets involved, so manual techniques. And the three standard, the three experiments, it's one experiment with 3 exposures, is that we have a standard image crossing both anode and cathode side. Then we would move the same image or the same body part or phantom into the anode side of the beam. Then let's see what our kVp and mass is to get a good picture. Now obviously here we're establishing a number for a good picture, another for a good picture. And then last but not least, we move the body part or phantom into the cathode side, And this is where we're hoping the magic happens, and that we notice that we can start lowering the KVP to get that really good image that we got originally here. But if the math works out correctly, we were forced to use 180 because we're compensating for an anode, whereas here we're all in the cathode field. So where are we? Are we at 100? That would be great. Or are we at 120? I don't know. But that would be the image, or that would be the information that I would be looking for. And I would be uncomfortable. I don't know if the EI numbers that are going to appear on the screen, if they're going to be reliable. And the reason I say that is because we've got pre-processing with lookup tables and what is it? Flat fielding for the anode heel effect, and with no anode information in the image, I don't know how this will affect uh, uh, the EI number. It's my understanding that if we go manual, none of this will be an issue. It's if we use the presets or AEC, then we've got a problem. But if we stay with manual technique, I'm hoping that you use your eye to get the best picture you can, and I'm hoping to find out that cathode imaging is a way to really reduce patient dose. Now, after you've done your experiment, I'd really appreciate it if you could send it to me. You don't have to. You can give me your name. That'd be wonderful. You don't have to. Date. I would like that. The location. It's not necessary. If you could, that'd be great. But if not, that's fine. The equipment type, because it'd be nice to go ahead and see that if it turns out that I'm getting positive feedback, but it's only coming from GE, well, that would tell me that the computer programming is having an issue, let's say in Konica. I'm not saying it's going to. I'm just saying we would like to be able to look at and find our greatest common denominators as to why something is working or maybe not working. And then, last but not least, what did you image? Um, Now, if you think that there's additional data you'd like to send, please feel free and send it all to allenpettit65 at yahoo.com, and that's ALLANPETIT 65 at yahoo.com. I recently left a radiography program, and that was something I wanted to retire doing, but my brother's having increased difficulties, and so I had to leave school. And um, I, I would like to help if I could. If there's any way I can be a part of this, it'd be wonderful. I'd really appreciate it. So, Merry Christmas, and be safe, and hopefully I get some information. Okay. Have a great day. Oh, and if everything does work out, um, the ideal of writing a new positioning book, I would love to be able to have a gratuitous page in it. Anybody that sent information, I would love to be able to go ahead and quote, thank you for all these, for all this support and so on and so forth. But I'm not, for all I know, this is a bust. But thank you. Have a great day. Okay.